Is China winning the standoff against India? The world's two most populous nations have been on a knife's edge high in the Himalayas for more than 8 months. A decades-long dispute was reignited last year after deadly clashes broke out between the two nuclear rivals.
Indian and Chinese soldiers fought on disputed land using stones and bamboo poles, and around 24 people died. On the Indian side, at least 20 soldiers were killed.
China has accused India of a provocation and has not disclosed if any of its troops were killed.
And if you're wondering why this involved hand-to-hand combat, it's because of a deal back in the 90s that banned guns or explosives near the border.
The deaths are the first loss of life in the border area in at least 45 years.
Since then, there have been multiple attempts to de-escalate tensions along their disputed border, but so far, talks have been fruitless. The Chinese have refused to restore the previous status quo in Ladakh, where they now control an additional 900 square kilometers of territory. But to understand what led to this crisis, we need to go back to 1962, when India and China fought a short but intense war over the disputed border region. India was soundly defeated, resulting in China occupying 38,000 square kilometers of new territory. Soldiers from both countries have been patrolling what's known as the Line of Actual Control, or LAC, ever since. So why is this largely deserted and inhospitable region so important? Well, one reason is that this 3,400-kilometer-long border straddles the highest mountain range in the world. Whoever controls the area will have the strategic high ground in any future conflict. India and China are also racing to outbuild each other. China has extended a border road and India has built a new one that at certain points passes along what India describes as the most vulnerable part of the LAC. This construction arms race has raised fears that another war might break out. Indian and Chinese tanks are also positioned head-to-head at flashpoints along the border, and more than 100,000 soldiers from both sides have been deployed to areas where temperatures can drop as low as -30 degrees. But that's where most of the similarities end. Analysts are now pointing out that China has a clear advantage. Here's how India and China stack up militarily. This is their defense budgets. This is the size of their armed forces. And this is the number of nuclear warheads they have at their disposal. China beats India in almost every category. The US Defense Department says that China has rapidly modernized its entire military over the last 2 decades. India, on the other hand, has been forced by Beijing to focus on securing its land borders at the cost of upgrading its navy. Some analysts say that under Narendra Modi, India has focused on minor operations against Pakistan for electoral gain, rather than upping its military as a whole to confront a rising China. And now, with the country in a recession, major military reforms seem off the table. Since the skirmishes began 8 months ago, India has been careful to avoid any serious military provocations against Beijing. And for good reason, because if the border dispute did descend into an all-out war, China would be a safe bet.